Hello and welcome back to this philosophical and musical channel. And what do you think about happiness? What does it mean for you? And what does it mean for philosophy? For philosophy, okay, some of philosophers. Immanuel Kant says that happiness is not the ideal of reason but of imagination. So it depends on us in any case. And what can we do to achieve this state of happiness? We can go for a walk. We can run, jogging, and it's the very effective way, in my opinion, if you get into the taste of such of things. And we can go for a walk with our friends, we can work a lot. Or we can drink a cup of coffee, and it's so effective for me too. But what says the philosopher of antiquity? Eudaimonia, theory and practice of achieving happiness. As you can guess from this word, it has a Greek root and moreover a religious origin. It's very important because the daimon and the adjective eudaimon is already used by Hesiod and is found in Pindar, and literally it means associated with a good daimon or genius or angel. Genius in Latin version. Epicurus, the pre-Socratic philosopher, believed that more people become good from exercise than from nature. So, again and again, this state of happiness depends on us. These states are only a certain objectivity of the soul, since the daemon himself dwells in our soul. It's the inner part of us. It's very important to understand. Epicurus, 341 217 before Christianity. He was a Greek philosopher, and he created an influential philosophical school, very influential, by the way, which was distinguished by democracy. Women and even slaves were allowed to attend it and to go into, and it was a rare thing, to tell the truth. School, so-called Epicurus Garden, it turned out to be durable. It lasted further thanks to followers for another 600 years after Epicurus' death. However, Epicureanism is not at all about gluttony and indulgence of base passions. It's something more. It's stronger and deeper, I think. And Epicurus believes that happiness is freedom from physical and moral and mental suffering, which means moderation and restraint in everything. Self-sufficiency of a person and freedom from external perturbance, external circumstances. In inner case, it's something innate, it's inner serenity, clarity, I think. And I will briefly list the conditions necessary for happiness according to Epicurus. Ataraxia or ataraxia, serenity or clarity, equanimity of the spirit. And he says that the blessed and immortal being doesn't have troubles or worries or problems, something like this, himself, and doesn't cause them to another. It's very important. So that he is not possessed by either anger or benevolence. This being absolutely independent. He is or she is free. The second, the right attitude to pleasure. Pleasures are important for us, but we should know the sufficiency of this pleasure. No pleasure is evil in itself, Epicurus says, but the means that produce some pleasures bring troubles much greater than pleasure itself, you know. Getting rid of fears, escape of fears. Death has nothing to do with us, says Epicurus. So for that which has decayed, and it doesn't feel after decay. So we doesn't feel everything after our death. And that which doesn't feel has nothing to do with us. So this death doesn't concern us until we live, until we are alive. Indifference to the outside. Chance rarely interferes with a wise man. The biggest and most important things were arranged by reason, and throughout his life this wise man, arranged them and will arrange them. And the last, friendship. Friendship is the very significant obstacle to achieve this state of happiness. Of all that wisdom gives itself for the happiness of a lifetime, the most important is the possession of friendship. So Epicurus believes in this importance of friendship. The word hedonism, is understood here rather as an intrinsic state accompanying correct actions and thoughts and states. Is everything so unambiguous? I don't know. Well, mentioned at the beginning of this short sketch, of this short video, Immanuel Kant. He criticized Epicurus and Epicureanism precisely from the positions that valor and morality can contradict personal egoistic happiness. Well, here I think he means pleasure as such pleasure. But here the question is how we can understand in fact this state of happiness. What is it for us? And it's impossible to live a pleasant life, says Epicurus, without living wisely and honorably and justly, and it's impossible to live wisely and honorably and justly without living pleasantly. So for him it's not the contradiction. An abstract example from life. There is a person in extremely straitened financial circumstances, for example. Of course, money is everything not everything, of course. And his close friend or his relative is deeply ill, seriously ill. And on the street, someone who looks like a very glamorous and rich and wealthy person drops a purse with money and goes on without any kind of perturbance. And after all, what should this man or woman do? And should she or he run after him? After all, it's of course more honest to run, but it depends. Of course, for Kant, one's own moral duty is the most important thing, but maybe it's just a pride or arrogance. I don't know. Okay, a personal example from my life, from the lighter weight category. I'm quite pedantic in my life, and I love discipline and order, and that means I love when there is a plan, and I have this plan, and this has a downside. Because it's very difficult for me to break the routine, and even for the sake of the necessity of a necessary rest, for example. And I know it's necessary, but it's something very uncomfortable for me. I feel I immediately put myself in a corner, and so I feel uncomfortable, to tell the truth. And although I know if you overcome internal resistance, then the work goes easier and happiness is added. It's clear that the brain produces hormones for us, produces hormones at the level of physiology, and as you know, there are four main hormones responsible for happiness. Oxytocin and serotonin are responsible for communication, dopamine for any activity, work, for sports, for hobbies, and endorphin for a sense of general calmness. So this equanimity or serenity in Epicurean sense. However, their production is not a magic button, and that can be found and pressed endlessly. It's impossible, and it's something unworthy, I think. To keep a balance between duty and joy, between moral duty and pleasure, poetry and truth, however, it's the task for human life, and it's very appreciate, very worthy task, aim. Okay, thank you for your attention, and see you the next video. All good to you. Bye.